Gordon was a goat. And he lived in Texas. Gordon liked to eat. He didn't care what he ate. He would try anything. Most of the time, he ate leaves from the mesquite tree. But he would just as soon try a dish towel or a delicious ham, if he could get it. And every now and then, Gordon would bite a cactus. But he was sorry every time he did. Gordon lived on a ranch with a lot of other goats. He didn't work very hard. All Gordon did was go on being Gordon day after day. And now and then, he would get his hair cut. The men who cut his hair called it mohair. They sold it to other people. The people used the mohair to make cloth and to stuff cushions. That was all right with Gordon. He didn't care what the men did with his hair, just so they didn't nick him while they were cutting it off. Some of the other goats on the ranch were called lead goats. They were called lead goats because the other goats followed them around. Whenever a lead goat got tired of staying in one place, he'd go to another place, and all the other goats would tag along behind him. Sometimes the new place was better than the old place. Sometimes it was worse, for better or worse. For better or worse, when the lead goat went, the rest of the goats went along. Now, Gordon went too. He didn't know why. He just did what all the rest of the goats did. He didn't think about it too much. But it took Gordon so long to get going, all the other goats were ahead of him. Gordon was always at the tail end of the line. One hot day, the lead goat got tired of staying where he was, so he set out to find another place. He remembered seeing some new weeds on the other side of a hill. After a long, hot walk, the goats found the new weeds. The weeds were not very good, and soon Gordon did not feel very well. He was sorry he had come along at all. Gordon sat down on the side of the hill. He made up his mind to stay there until he felt better. But just when Gordon was getting comfortable, the lead goat set out for another place. Away he went, and the other goats followed him. The very last goat was Gordon, who really didn't feel like going at all. Gordon walked and walked. The hot sun beat down on him. And Gordon began to wonder, why had he come along? Why didn't he do some thinking for himself? Why did he follow all the other goats who were following the lead goat? Just because that's what they always did? It didn't make sense to Gordon. All of a sudden, Gordon saw something way off ahead of all the other goats. It was a big, dark, dusty-looking thing, and it was coming right at him. It begun at the ground, and it went clear up to the sky. It was the biggest thing Gordon had ever seen. The thing was coming at him faster and faster. Gordon wished the lead goat would turn around and go somewhere else, but the lead goat went on walking straight ahead, and so all the other goats went walking straight ahead too. The thing was coming at him until all the goats were right in the middle of it. It was a twister! Now a twister is no fun to be in, and Gordon was scared. Up he flew in a black cloud. It tossed him around and around. It tossed him upside down and downside up. Now, Gordon was real sorry he had ever eaten those new weeds. First he turned yellow, then he turned green, and then he was sick. Gordon felt sorry for himself. He had never felt so sorry for himself before. When he thought he just couldn't last much longer, he saw the old lead goat go spinning past him. The old goat went higher and higher. He looked as if he felt worse than Gordon. Just then, Gordon was thrown from the twister. He landed with a thud in the middle of a field. The field was soft enough to keep him from breaking all his bones, but it was hard enough to hurt a lot. After a long time, Gordon got up. He was stiff and sore, and he ached all over. But Gordon knew something now that he would never forget. Never again would he follow along just because everyone else did. He was going to find out first where he was going, why he was going, and what he was going to do when he got there. Gordon does his own thinking now. He gets along much better than before.
What?